Hi, this is Mandy from Sunflowers and Doors. Welcome back to my channel. Really good to have you with me. Today I am starting a new journal. It's ephemera for a bee journal that I'll be creating. The paper pack that I'll be using for part of this journal is Tell the Bee Special Edition, which is by Craft Consortium, 12 by 12 paper. So I'm going to be using that for this. How fabulous is that? But you don't have to use this. Obviously you can use whatever you're using for your project, but I am going to be using this for making a few bits of ephemera that I'm going to be including within the journal. So the idea today is that I'm going to make a couple of pieces of ephemera, and I'm just going to go through then. Oh, these are fabulous papers. And then I'm just going to I'll build the journal once I've built the ephemera, if you like. That's the idea anyway. So I'm going to start off, I'm actually going to use this piece of paper here, which is got a gold glimmer to it. And the other side is, it's not a gold glimmer, it's just got some shading on it. So that's very cool. And I'm also going to use, I think I'm going to use possibly one of those, although that's quite nice as well. So it's all quite nice, to be honest. And it's blues and blacks and yeah, some really beautiful colours. So I think I'm going to use this one for the other project. So the idea today is that make a couple of things. I'm going to kind of try and work page by page rather than just ephemera piece at a time. That will make sense as we go on. So the first thing I'm going to make, this is a golden oldie of mine. The great thing with this one is it's non-dimensional paper, so that really helps with this piece. This is going to be a piece that attaches to your journal and gives you some kind of flips and flaps and pockets and what have you. So it's a 12 by 12. I'm literally going to cut it. I'm going to score it at 4.5 inches, like that. And then I'm going to score it again at 9 inches. And then I am going to turn it around. And I can't remember what I'm supposed to score here. I think we're going to go for 7 inches. That looks about right. I haven't made this piece for a long time. So yeah, that looks about right. So we end up with 6 kind of quadrants, if you like. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections on this piece. So we've scored it at 4.5, 9. We've turned it 1 turn anti-clockwise and we've scored it at 7 inches. So then what I'm going to do, try and leave that on the side there, is I'm going to cut off these bottom 2 sections, okay? It doesn't matter which way you're facing because it's the same 2 pieces that I'm going to be cutting off. So that is what I'm going to do here. And this is a great piece for your 12 by 12, so whatever you're using. It really is a great piece. Now when I cut it, I'm cutting the bottom piece up and I'm doing it just on the inside of the score line. And you'll see why when we start building the next piece. Just means you haven't got to cut anything off. This bit's not so important. Okay, so we end up with almost like a bit of a T shape. And as I said, you can use whichever side shape, whatever you want. Now, we're going to fold all of these. And again, at the moment, it doesn't matter where you fold them, how you fold them, what you do with them. You're just going to fold them. Okay. Now, this piece here, which is the smaller, so we've got a 4.5, a 4.5 piece wide, and then what's left, which is what, 3. This piece is going to be the piece that attaches to the page in your journal. So you kind of need to decide what you want which side of the paper you want to be working with. This is much better project with two-sided paper, but you just need to decide what you're going to do. So with this one here, I folded this smaller piece back on itself. I folded this piece up and that piece over, okay? And you'll also be able to then, we're going to attach this to our journal page. You'll be able to flip it over, you'll be able to flip it over, you'll be able to flip it down. The other way of doing it is, what's the other way of doing it? Yeah, the other way of doing it is having it so it's the other side opening. So this piece here again would attach to your journal, and we'd attach it at the top, the bottom, and down this left hand side. So that would give us a text spot there on your journal page. And then you would always then also be able to open this out and flip it and do all sorts of weird and wonderful things with it. Okay, so that is the only decision you're making, is which side of the page you want it to open on. It does affect the colour. So if I open it on this side with my pocket here, then I've got the lighter colour. If I do it on that side, I have got my golds and my bling, if you like. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have this side as the primary piece, okay? So what I'm going to do now is, with these pieces we've got left, we're going to decorate. Okay, so I'm going to open this back up a little bit. I'm going to cut this bottom piece down because we don't need that much. So I'm not going to measure it, I'm just going to kind of eyeball it, I think. Just make sure it's straight, eyeball it, and cut that piece off there. So this is going to fold up here like that, and we're going to put some corner pieces on that. Okay, and that is going to fold over here like that. And we've also got this piece here that folds over here. So we're going to start by adding some more pockets to it. So at the moment, this is my front piece, and that is the piece that's going to fold over. I'm going to use this as one of the pockets first of all. So I'm just going to glue this in place, and this will be, no, I'm not going to use this as one of the pockets. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use that, yeah, no, we will use that as one of the pockets. So I'm just going to put some glue on the side, and we're going to pop that on there. So we've got a nice pocket here. On the other side, I want something bigger, and I think I'm going to go with a text spot. So I'm taking a piece of my offcut, I'm going to put a rounder there, and I am going to glue that onto my page as a text spot. Now you can use the same side if you want to, no problem with that at all. I just like having the contrast of papers. Okay, so that there, like that. This again, don't forget, is going to be the piece we stick down. So you might even want to put just like a little mark through that, so you know that's the piece that's going to be stuck down, so you're not going to see this. So we've just created two pockets. We flip this over again, and I'm going to create a nice, I think I'm going to create a nice big pocket on this one. I'm going to have to trim it down a little bit because that's going to be too big. Excuse me. So I'm just going to take a little bit off the bottom, and then I'm going to take a little bit off the side because it's a tad wide. So I'm just going to make sure that the ends where we folded it are actually cut off like that. So this is going to go on here like that as a pocket. I'm going to just put my board down there a moment, because otherwise that's going to get in the way. I am going to put a divot in here. Quite a big divot there. And I'm going to glue this on here. Just along the two sides and along the bottom. Now, I'm not inking this because the paper doesn't need inking. It's already got its gloss and other bits and pieces on it, so I'm not overly concerned about inking that. Okay. And I'm going to flip it over this side. Now, don't forget, this is the piece that's going to attach to our paper, but we've still got two sides here that we can do something with. So, again, I think I could put a pocket in there, and that gives us lots of space, but I think I'm going to prefer to put another text spot there. So again, I'm just going to round that edge, and then we're going to glue it down the one side, which is going to sit on the right, and across the bottom. So that's going to go like that. And then we've got this piece here that we've got left. Now, all we've got left from this is this piece. Now, we could open another one up, but do you know what? I think I'm just going to, excuse me, create a belly band by snipping off that there and gluing this down on each side. So that belly band on that smaller piece of card will actually be quite nice to put a thin tag or whatever it is that you want to add to that. Okay, so our piece is attached to the page like this, okay, and this is what it looks like. So we can flip it over here. We've got a belly band and we've got a nice big tuck spot. We flip it back and we've got a nice big pocket. We flip it over again and we've got another nice tuck spot and a nice pocket here. You can literally do whatever you want in terms of decoration. I am going to grab my bits that I bought to go with this set. I think that is it. Yeah. So I bought some ephemera pieces to go with this set just because I thought it would make things pop a little bit. So there's lots of things we've got here that we can play with. We've got some washi, we've got some little beads, and we've got some bead charms. So I'm gonna, probably should have done this first, but I'm just gonna empty this a moment. And what I think I'm gonna do with this one is, I think I'm gonna use some of these just across here, and I'm just going to dot them in a few places because I think they would look super cute. So I think I'm going to go for this gold colour, and I literally am just going to dot them in a few, oopsie-daisy, dot them in a few places in the middle of our design. Like that. We've got this little tiny piece here which we cut off. I think I'm going to attach that as a label, type of label. So I'm going to glue that on, and then we can add to that afterwards We can add either some stamping of letters, or we can add some, stamping. No, it is stamping, yeah. Or we can just, I can create some words just to pop on there. But I'm also going to put, I think, just a couple of these, because I think they will balance it out. And they've got to, don't have to be in any specific order. I'm just literally dotting them around without overthinking it. Okay, so we've used a 12 by 12. We've got a piece that attaches to our journal card here, which gives us a nice belly band, text spot. Pop this over, we've got a nice deep pocket, which is our front piece. Flip it over again, we've got another text spot and another pocket. It won't flip over anymore because that's the piece that's being attached to the page. So that is that. What I want to do now is I want to create some tags to go with this. Okay, so I'm going to cut this 6 by 6, I think. I'm going to fold it because my cutter cuts it off right at that point. It's the most used measurement, and it just cuts it off. So if I do that, I can see exactly where I'm cutting. I'll make sure that's straight. So I've got a 6 by 6. I'm going to now cut this in 3-inch pieces so that I have got 1, 2, 3-inch pieces and a 6 by 6. Okay, so I've got a 6 by 12. I have got a 6 by 6, and I've got 2 3 by 6s. With these 2 3 by 6s, I want to turn these into tags. Okay, so I'm going to get my card that I use to create my tag, and I'm just going to cut those down like that. Okay, so we're going to have 2 tags, but I am going to do a little bit of decorating and blinging these up a little bit. So I'm just going to start by grabbing some this is tracing paper, and I've used this coffee dyed it. So I'm going to start by cutting off just under 3 inches. Okay, just under, literally a tad under 3 inches. And then I'm going to cut this. So that will be there. Okay, and then I'm going to cut off, I think, let's go 3 inches and 3 inches again. So we'll do 3 inches. And we'll do one more 3-inch. Okay. What I'm going to do with these 3 inches is I'm going to take them and I'm going to pop them on the front of our journal cards, so we actually end up with pockets. And I'm going to do that using double-sided tape because it just works so much better than glue with this type of paper. But just be aware, this is quite a thick double-sided paper, so it's going to restrict how much I can put in the pocket. But as long as I'm aware of that, that's okay. Okay, and then just a piece across the bottom. Oops, Daisy. Like that. Just cut that end piece off there. Okay, so I'm going to take this off, this off, and this off. Like that. And I am going to pop this as carefully as I can, like that, which will give us our pocket. Just going to give that a burnish so it's not showing quite as well. It's probably going to show more like that, isn't it? But it's okay. Okay, so that'll be one of our pieces. Okay, tag with a pocket in, and I'm going to put some backing on there. And then the second piece, I'm going to put this on as well. This time I'm going to attach this one with glue just so you can see the difference. Glue tends to make it crinkle a bit, but it does give you more access to the pocket. And it doesn't show through quite like that. So I'm going to pop that on here. It also gives you a little bit more wiggle room in fairness, so if you do make a mistake, then you're covered. Okay, so don't forget art glitter glue dries flat, dries clear, so you're not going to see the glue marks. So you can see the difference. Probably going to go for that type of setup, I think, if we're going to do that. Now, I also want to make a really thin tag to go in here, because they're not obviously going to go in here. So let's just measure. I think they said this was 3 inches. So, yeah, 3 inches. So I'm going to do a tag that's about 2.5 inches to fit in there, I think. So I'm going to grab this. I'm going to go for 2.5 inches. And again, I'm going to put my tag shape in here like that. And that should fit in there quite nicely. It should. Oh, it's not going to. It's a tad big, so I'm going to have to cut a tiny bit more off. And then we're just going to adjust our corner again. Like that. And that should then fit in there like that, which it does. So they are looking good. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to back these with some paper. Now, I could use coffee dyed paper, but I don't think I want to. So I'm going to use some of my paper from the Typology collection, because I think this is going to add a little bit more contrast. I love that colour, and that is light enough to write on. So that might, I think it's going to be too, no, it's not too short. So that's good for a start. So let me see, if I fold that in half, how much does it give me? It gives me a little writing space, so I think I'll do that. I'm going to cut that in half. Like so. And we're going to use these, and we're going to put them on the back just to add a little bit of journaling space. Okay, now they're too tall for a start, so I'm going to have to cut a tiny bit off the top, which is okay. And then I'm gonna, it's not straight. I don't know why I'm surprised, because I never cut straight. And then I'm gonna use a smaller one, I think. Am I? Or should we just, no, we'll stick with this one. Is that the one I used? I don't know now. Yeah, that's the one I used for this. So we're going to stick with that, and we're going to cut up our tag corners like that. And one's a tiny bit bigger than the other, but that's okay. So like that and like that. And so they will go on the back here, down that centerpiece there. So we still got some of our pattern around there, but it just gives us some writing space. This paper from Tapeology is absolutely beautiful. I love it, absolutely love it. It is a bit pricey. I do have an affiliate link for you to get some discount if you wanted to buy it. It's all in the details below, but I go on there just for the paper, to be honest, because I do love it. It's easy. So there's the one. And there is the second one. Like that. So we've got two tags here. Both of those were journal spaces on the back and pockets on the front. So for the pockets on the front, all I'm going to do is I'm going to create two just really small tags. So I'm just going to cut a piece off there. I don't know how big this is. What, 3.5? So that's going to be 1 3/4. Right in there. I'm going to cut a tiny bit off these. Like that. And like that. And these will be little tags that we can decorate to pop in here and in here. Okay. But at the moment we've got our tags with some journal space on the back. I'm going to put a little bit, I think, of washi on these, just to jazz up this bit a bit. Gosh, this is quite a sticky washi. Doesn't look strapped, does it? A bit there, a bit there. And with this one, I think I'm going to add some of the beige one, which has got the bees on it. I might put this on the bottom. Nope, I don't like that there at all. So let's try it further up. A bit better, I think. Okay. So we've got 2 tags here, we've got our smaller tag here, okay? So one of our tags is going to go in this one here. One of our tags is going to go in this one here. Now I will put ribbon on top of these, but this is just to show you that kind of design at the moment. This tag here is going to go in here, and that will be backed. And then we've got space here, and we've got space here. What I'd like to do is do a little scrap pad. Now I'm not again gonna I'm not gonna measure this as such. I just need to make sure it's smaller than the 3 inches, 4 inches that these pieces represent. I'm going to put a small, just a small score line in here, like that. Score down a little bit too hard. So the fix for that is black ink or washi, whatever you want to do. Just going to grab some paper. Okay, so these are my kind of scrappy type pieces. So we're going to do a scrap pad. Just using some of these scraps. There we go. Loads of stuff there. Okay. So this is going to be our page. So we want some paper that's going to fit this. That fits quite nicely. I just need to cut some of that off. Looks as though I've glued that together anyway at some point. So that's already glued. So I'm just going to chop some of this off at the bottom. Like that. That should fit. So I'm going to pop glue on the underside here, first of all. Put that up flush there, make sure it's straight, and then just pop that on there. Okay. And that will give us a scrap pad, and if you wanted to, you could flip that the way it's attached there and pop that on a journal page on its own. So there is the option for that. With this one, it was already, the paper was already glued to each other, so I hadn't sewn it or stitched it. I'd literally just glued it. So I want that to go in one of these sections here. So I think I'm going to pop that in there like that. And then I've also got a library card. Now I don't know if I'm going to use that to go in here. No. I want something still. Okay, let's just put a little bit of paper on the backing of this one while we're thinking about it, so that we've got a little bit of a journal spot, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It's a journal, junk journal type. I know this isn't junk, but this bit's of paper that I'm using is. So that goes on there like that. We can put a little bit of washi on that just to jazz it up a little bit. We want to. Do we need to? I don't think we do, no. So We've got a little tag there with some journal spot on the back. We've got, let me take that out actually. We've got a scrap pad there, which just pops in there. We've got a journal card there with a pocket on the front, which will be our little tags, and some writing space on the back. We flip it over, we've got another journal card here, so we just need something else for this space here, I think, yeah. So what I think I'm going to do is I've got some guest checks here, which would make great journal space if they fit. I'm not sure if that's going to fit there. Nope, so I'm going to take a little bit off the bottom. I can take it down to about here. Okay, so we've got our journal page here. This attaches to your journal page like this, and it attaches at the top and the bottom and down this side. So you've got a pocket there. We have opened it and we've got a journal card with some writing space on the back. We've got a text spot with a scrap card. We flip this over here. This is the front of our piece, so this is what you look at when you go into the journal, into your journal. We've got a scrap, a journal card with a scrappy piece of tracing paper on the front as a pocket, more journal space on the back. And then we flip it over this way. We've got a thank you guest check type piece, which can just be used as a journal spot. And we've got another journal card with some writing space on the back and a pocket on the front. If you wanted to kind of build this up even further, you could put another tuck spot on here. So something like that, and you'd have a second tuck spot. You could do the same with this, have that as like a little pocket, side pocket. So there's loads and loads you can do to this to build it up even more. I mean, that might actually look quite good if I cut off, let's cut off some of this, like that. And that, I think, looks quite good as another tuck spot. And in fairness, that's the great thing about this, is as you're building these types of pieces, you can just add to them and add to them and add to them. This would have looked good as well with a belly button on. Now, I don't want it to be too thick a piece. Already the profile's starting to build on this, but we have got a lot in here. So that, as I said, flip out here with a journal card and a scrapbook. Front page with a pocket and a journal card. Flip it over here. We've got two texts now, just with some writing paper. A pocket with a journal card. You could have put another pocket there if you wanted to, and that will be your piece just to sit in your journal like that. Really simple. I'm going to put, as I said, perhaps I'll put bees on there as letter stamps, but yeah, it's a really, really simple concept, but it does look great in a journal. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you want to leave me any comments, the comments section is below. Please feel free. Really love to hear what you guys think. And other than that, I will leave the video there. Stay safe, be well, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.